Alright, we had a bit of a run-in with the police. Welcome back to Oskar and Dan. This is our second video from Kenya and from one of the most tumultuous yet educational travel days we have ever had. After a full day of exploring Nairobi with two local friends from university, it was time to see a different side of the city, a neighborhood that our local friends even said that they had never set foot in. Alright, good morning guys. We are on our way to meet up with an old friend of mine, and hopefully this day is going to be very educational and very interesting and memorable. In a good way. Yeah. So we've just been sitting here having a coffee with my old friend Sabine from Sweden. We used to go to school together all the way from actually year 0, as you call it in Sweden, until year 9. Year 0, that's what it's called. Like the year before you start first grade. So we went to school for 10 years together, which is quite insane. And for the past few years, she's been in Kenya a lot because she has a Kenyan boyfriend. We're meeting up with him later on as well. And then we're gonna see the neighborhood where he grew up, which is going to be really interesting to see, I think. We started walking toward a market that Sabine wanted to show us before entering the slum, but things quickly took a wet turn. All right, things took a rainy turn.
I'm glad I have a rain jacket and waterproof shoes.
Perfect time to walk. We headed there in an Uber instead, but it didn't take long before we realized we were gonna have to rethink the day's plan.
We're a bit drenched, but it's part of the fun.
Maybe not the best day weather-wise to explore all of Nairobi, but we're making the most of it. Alright, slight change of plans. We're gonna have to head to a restaurant first. Hopefully the rain passes and we can actually enter Kibera, which is what we're actually supposed to be doing today, but walking around there right now with the rain won't be the best experience nor the safest experience. Come on! With the weather.
The taxi's here.
Oh, the taxi's here. Okay, great. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. Hello.
Thank you. My first Swedish visitors.
Oh, what an honor.
Yeah.
There is a guy of football who plays football. There was Zlatan in Bracadabra.
In a desperate attempt to hide from the rain, we met up with Sabine's boyfriend Mike at Junction Mall. Little did we know that this is where we'd have our first truly hostile encounter with the police in the 102 countries we've traveled to.
One thing we noticed about Kenya so far is that the portions are absolutely massive. They're like US size, which you don't see in a lot of countries.
So now Sabine's boyfriend Mike has joined us. So we're here, some lunch.
We found a Swedish candy store. No, it's like goodies. It's goodies in Swedish. Candy. Alright, finally the weather is better.
Well, better, yeah. I'm a little more hopeful now. Mike is about to take us, well, Mike and Sabine are about to take us to Kibera, really the poorest neighborhood of Nairobi, which is actually where Mike grew up. So we feel safe going with him. It's going to be an eye-opening experience.
Kibera is the largest slum in all of Africa, and I think it's also the second largest in the world. There's no real way of knowing how many people even live there because not everyone is registered. They think only like about 50% of people are actually documented like officially with the government. So there's a huge range in the sort of estimate of what the population is. Right after recording these clips, a security guard comes up to us and starts questioning me about the videos I just took. He then proceeds to violently insist we follow to the police station, where we are subsequently detained and interrogated at gunpoint for the next hour. We've put the full explanation of what happened at the end of the video so we don't interrupt the flow, so keep watching until the end if you want to hear what happened and what to watch out for as a tourist here. For now, let's move on to Kibera. Alright, we had a bit of a run-in with the police. We'll tell you all about that later, but now we finally arrived in Kibera. Definitely wasn't on the list today to have that happen, but that's part of the fun.
On arrival in Kibera, we met one of Mike's friends who's running a crucial community initiative in the neighborhood.
We saw that garbage collection is something sensitive to the community, and then we decided just to do it. We're doing it out of passion, no payment. Each and every Sunday, we do garbage collection door to door.
The lack of any organized garbage collection by the city government left Kibera with mountains of uncollected trash. Many of the narrow roads between the houses are made up of mostly refuse and rubbish, and it was turning into a serious health hazard for the community. To combat this problem, Abel and a bunch of his friends decided to take this matter into their own hands.
We also conduct mass cleanups. So recently, actually last week on Saturday, we had our 4th mass cleanup.
And that's like the whole community comes together? So
yes, we invite everybody, and people came. People came in large numbers. We invited different organizations that came and helped us. This is the river stream that we clean.
That's the river you cleaned.
Yeah.
So what do you use the water for now?
Initially, before people started throwing trash inside, fish were living here. Now, when the water is dirty, fish cannot live there. So
Do people fish the fish?
yes.
I see. Before they cleaned out the river, the water was basically not even flowing because there was so much trash in it. So this is a huge improvement for sure. Is this where people usually dispose of their trash?
Yes, we've placed a bin. So we're also looking forward to getting more people to help us get more bins so that we can put in every zone. So this is it. So if we get a couple of them, it will really help us to control how people throw trash.
How much does one bin cost?
This one, it costs 10,000 Kenyan shillings.
The garbage truck comes twice a week, and this is the trash that's generated from just half a week. They go around with these wagons and they collect the trash.
People don't see a way of Kibera, so they have the mentality that I was born here, I've grown here. They have no other perspective. They have not visited to different places. We try to change the outlook and the way people think of Kibera. We must envision far from Kibera and not here. Yes.
We thought it was so incredible to hear about and see the work that Abel and his friends are doing for the community, and we wanted to help in any way we could.
So how do you fund the trucks that come to pick it up? You said you have to pay. How do you collect funding?
Because they're all private trucks, right? They're not.
It's a private truck. Every Sunday, when we go to door picking the garbage, they pay us 20 shillings. We save so that when the truck comes, at least we have the money to pay them.
Since Abel really emphasized the importance of these trash collection bins and placing them in different neighborhoods, we thought, why not use this video as a fundraising opportunity for the project?
If you're interested in helping out and improving people's lives in Kibera, we created a GoFundMe page where you can pledge any amount you want. We personally make sure that the money ends up with Mike, who then distributes it to Abel and his organization so that you can be sure the money ends up in the right place. We personally donated while we were there and have already seen what good effects this money can have. So if you want to help, the link is in the description.
All right, the rain is back. Taking shelter.
Okay. It's the afternoon, taking our cows for a walk in the afternoon.
Even when the weather is like this, there's so much life. Here there's people playing music, dancing, like shouting things on the microphone, like all kinds of stuff.
Before we continue with the video and share Mike and Sabine's incredible love story and how Sabine lived with Mike here in Kibera on and off for years, we just want to thank today's video sponsor Magic that made this video and the fundraiser possible. Magic is your personal AI travel assistant, and wherever in the world you're going, Magic can help you plan your trip, find the perfect place to stay, and answer any questions you have. Our favorite feature is Magic Review, which summarizes comments and reviews from all over the internet about the hotels, sites, and experiences you're looking at in these color-coded boxes, which makes it super easy to get an unbiased overview of a place or an activity.
We should mention that Magic is 100% free, and you can book your hotel stays directly through Magic without any added fees. Regardless if you're visiting a huge city, a small village, or a tiny island, Magic helps you plan an itinerary tailored for your specific preferences. It even asks for dietary restrictions, which we absolutely love since it ensures we'll only be recommended vegan-friendly restaurants.
So next time you're going away, consider booking your hotel and planning your trip through Magic and discover the power of AI for travel for yourself. Now let's get on with the video.
Just want to do a little interview here with Mike and Sabine. As we said, Mike grew up here. Sabine lived here with him. So we just want to get a few insights to share. Tell us about how long you guys have been together and where you met.
What, you're gonna start or let me go?
Do you know? You guys don't know this.
But of course, yeah, we met at one of the exchange programs, and I was one of the film teacher. She was in my class.
And it's 5 years ago.
5 years, yeah. And at that time you were living here in Kibera.
Yes, that time I was living in Kibera before I moved to Uganda.
But then when my program was finished, I extended my visa or stay for like a few weeks, and then I lived with him before I went back.
So you lived here on your with
Yeah.
him at the end, on your
Yeah.
first visit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I came back like 4 weeks later, I think.
Yeah.
And then I basically never went home. Just like back and forth, but not like
So
completely.
do you remember your first night here? What were you thinking?
I honestly don't remember like reacting in any way, because it was just like, it's like going to the person you're dating for the first time. It's always going to the
Yeah.
for the first time. So it was like, what's the difference of going home to a guy in Sweden than here? In
Yeah.
theory, it's the same thing. This is
Yeah.
how you live. This is how I live.
So you were just all eyes on Mike.
I was eyes on Mike, and just great to see how you lived. Honestly, I can't remember thinking anything else.
Yeah, I mean, my worry, and I'm sure a lot of viewers will be like, were you not worried you would get sick somehow because you haven't grown up with the water and all this stuff? Were you just, you said there's not many mosquitoes, but all those types of things are, you come from such a protected
He's a
environment.
very hygienic man.
Yeah, yeah.
Cleans everything very neatly. So I feel like I've just trusted you with everything. So
Yeah.
no, I haven't actually. And I got my vaccinations, and
Yeah.
when it comes to the rest, I just leave you to it. So
Yeah.
personally, no, actually.
Mike, what did your family and neighbors think when you had a Muzunko?
For them, I know this is a stereotype thing, but honestly, they thought now I'm rich.
So what, did they come to you for money, or it wasn't that fast?
100% yes.
I've given you a lot of hustle, a lot of work.
Issues like living here together. Did people question it? Or?
Where to start? A lot of people had a lot of opinions, but we kind of zigzagged through it. Not like the general public, but people you knew.
Yeah.
Who thought you were different or thought you were rich.
I lost a couple of friends that I thought that were friends when I started.
They
Yes.
couldn't tolerate this, so this was worse
Really?
than how they valued the relationship that you built for 10, 11, 12 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Your first time in Sweden, was there something that we just take for granted? Like you thought, wow.
Wow, there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, your government is really working for you. You don't realize that until you come to countries where government doesn't work. You look at the infrastructure, you look at the hospitals,
Yeah.
or the health sector, you look at housing. You have an apartment, and the apartment doesn't have like a watchman at the gate, or like some security guy. For us over here, people lack so many things. And in Sweden, people have these things, they don't lack anything.
What happens if someone gets sick here?
If you have money, you're gonna get the care that you need to get.
Yeah.
If you don't have the money, you cannot.
Yeah, the expertise is here. It's just like accessibility.
Do they have like community doctors here in Kibera and that kind of?
There's a lot of them. I never studied medicine.
Yeah, they don't need like certificate like
No.
we do.
Well, thank you guys.
so much.
You're an amazing couple, so we're glad you found each other. As the sun began to set, we were welcomed inside Mike's foster home. Okay, we're visiting Mike's foster family here at their house.
Yeah, this is my foster.
As he didn't grow up with his biological family, Mike's foster parents helped support him to make a better life for himself.
I used to miss school a lot.
Yeah.
So came and told him about me, and then of course we started being friends, and he talked to my mom if I can stay with him, and then of course that's how it happened.
The lights are out.
Yeah, I mean, we have our phones, so it's fine. We had a beautiful evening and were treated to tea before it was time to head back for the night. As we drive back to the hotel, let's explain what happened earlier at the mall when we had a little run-in with Kenyan law enforcement.
All right, where to begin?
First of all, we have to say that we love Sabine and Mike.
So we were supposed to take off for Kibera. I recorded myself talking about that. The security guard comes up and he's like, why did you take a photo? But then unfortunately, Mike and Sabine had already sort of gone further ahead. So we start yelling towards them like, hey, can you please come back here? But they didn't hear us. So this guard thought we were trying to like escape or something. Long story short, we catch up with Sabine and Mike.
The Uber was there. Sabine was like getting in. Then we're like, Sabine listened to what's going on. The guard was being like super threatening and aggressive. And Mike was on the phone. Finally, Sabine was like, Mike, we might need your help here. Mike like joins in or intervenes and tries to calm the situation down. At which point the guard like literally physically assaults Mike.
Yeah, he's like pulling him and
like
shouting.
really aggressively. So we're just like, okay, we'll just go to this police, no
Let's
problem.
not, let's not push this any more than we need to. So they take us to the sort of, it's not like, it wasn't like a police station, but it was like the sort of where you enter into the mall where the security is. And inside are two police, well, one policewoman, one policeman, both carrying machine guns. Yeah. They tell us to sit and to show us, you know, everything that I had recorded. And obviously we knew where this was going to lead or what was the point of all this or what they wanted out of it, which was, of course, a bribe. So we were relatively calm, I'd say, but they got really threatening, like to the point where like, you're not going to be leaving here for days. I mean, I was all shaky, I'll admit, but just because all eyes were on me, especially since I was the one who'd been recording.
Yeah, and I was like, I hate this situation so much. But at the same time, part of my brain was like, this is the quintessential African travel experience that we haven't had yet.
Yeah.
Like, this is what all experienced travelers tell you. It's obviously traumatic for everyone because you feel so vulnerable.
They were like, we need to see your passports, and they were really like, why
So they were like, we're gonna send someone to your hotel to get your passports because we need them. Yeah. And then we're like, we have photos of the passports, we have photos. Thankfully that was enough. They like took photos of our passports, they wrote all our information down. And then we learned that the woman with the machine gun, which was literally like aiming at us, she was telling our Mike in Swahili, I guess, I want them single, I want like a European boyfriend. Great first impression, girl.
That's really the way to go if you want to land a guy.
Yeah.
Interrogate them and detain them for
in a way it was kind of fun because we turned on the biggest charm offensive you can imagine. Because the men were just like complete assholes, but the woman, you could tell that like deep down she was kind of funny and
she was putting on this hard front.
She was putting on this really hard front with her like freaking machine gun, like, but we were just like, girl,
we see through you, girl.
So she actually asked us like, what's good in Sweden? Like just so random out of nowhere, and we're like, let us tell you, you have to come visit us in Sweden. So here's some photos of the snow. And she's like, oh my God, like how do the babies survive when it's so cold? And we go, yeah, they have to wear like many layers of clothes. You know,
and she goes, 4 layers? We're like, yeah.
And she's like, whoa, 4 layers of clothing. Oh. It was so fake. We were like, ha ha ha, you're hilarious.
It was so bizarre because we're literally trying to like charm our kidnapper almost. And that's how what it felt like.
Yeah, so it was like Stockholm syndrome. We were like, come visit us in Stockholm, and we'll do the same to you.
I just felt like the whole time
we could have just paid them straight.
We could have just paid you. Like, why waste this time? Like, why go through all this? We can literally just pay you. We could have paid you more than that.
The fact that people like them give the whole country and continent a bad reputation with tourists is like, have you no shame? So the woman was like, never come to Africa again if you're not carrying your passport wherever you go. And then after we left, Mike was like, thank goodness you didn't have your passport. because they would have like taken it, confiscated it, and you would have had to go to a police station maybe days later to retrieve it.
Fine.
Yeah, and pay a fine. So it could have messed up all our travel plans. So, so now we've experienced that trauma. We just felt so bad also that Mike and Sabine were drawn into it, and that they, because of us, they were part of it. And like, especially how badly they treated Mike.
Yeah.
It was so horrible. Like, there was clearly racism there. Even though they were also black Kenyans, they were treating him so much worse than they were treating us. And we felt they were treating us badly. So there were like, I think 6 police who came and went, and everyone was like, I'm gonna watch every video they recorded from here. They were playing it loudly, and they're like, you see this? That's the mall. This is very dangerous. How are we supposed to know you're not? We're just like, just tell us the bribe and let us go.
Yeah. I mean, it's all just intimidation tactics.
Yeah.
At the end
And
of
then
the day.
when we left, we realized they didn't even make us delete the videos. Like, that whole thing, like an hour of intimidation, treating us terribly.
Pointless.
And then it's like, they didn't even care about the videos at all, of course.
It was just a way to
start.
Yeah, it was just an excuse to take us in to get a bribe. So that's how it goes.
Yeah, the fear was not like, oh, we did something wrong. It's how badly can they treat us and how far will it go that they think is okay.
Yeah. We're pretty experienced travelers, but I can only imagine if it was someone who's not as well traveled ending up in that situation. I can't even imagine having to navigate that.
Anyway, after that we went to Kibera, which turned out to be an amazing,
a really beautiful experience.
Really inspiring and educational experience.
If you watched the video this far, guys, thank you so much for your support. It means the world to us, especially since this video was a bit different than usual. If you enjoyed this, you might like our other videos from Kenya, or if you want to watch our journey from the beginning when we started vlogging, you can check out this playlist.
Again, the link to the crowdfunding campaign is in the description. Every little bit helps, and as we said, we'll personally make sure it ends up where it's needed most. We're so excited to share the rest of our videos from Kenya and the sort of life-changing stuff that will come after that. Until you hear from us again, as always, see you around the world.